All right, we have waited for more than 11 minutes at this point. Let me start the video here. That's definitely what happens on day 2. Is that like, because it's really hard to make day 2. You have to go 7-1 on day 1, and you even have to qualify for day 1 to even like play in that. So it's not that many players that even make day 2, like maybe a few hundred, if even that. And since like after 2 losses, you are out of day 2. So the queue empties super quickly. And that means like just at this point there's like maybe 10 people left to a place in the tournament, maybe even less. I do get paired against someone, but it's actually our round 1 opponent, Minty, who was on blue-white control. So we're gonna have a rematch here against blue-white control. I did win like pretty convincingly last time, so let's see if we can do the same right here. It has the video capture pause. That's whenever I'm like writing on Discord or something while I play. It's gonna like, or if I'm just like, you know, seeing if someone was like writing me. That's what it's gonna show. Or if I'm like, you know, at this point, like what I'm doing is that I'm checking like who my opponent was. Anyways, we kept a 7-card hand, right? Yeah, I kept the 7-card hand here. It's pretty good against control. Had discard spell and like some interaction, but really need something to sacrifice. Anyway, their hand, I took an undersimplifier from their hand. That's a 2-mana counter spell that I count on unless they pay 2, which is like, I guess not a really good card, but it at least like, you know, if it's a creature, it also gets -2/-0. So even if it resolves, like it can kind of stop some sort of creatures. And if their hand with like, you know, some pretty clunky things, I realized that like Inquisition is kind of like not that good against blue-white control. It's pretty likely to miss. The main thing here though, they don't have white mana, so they're gonna have to like spend their field to get white mana. I don't have any play here either, but I can just play this and pass. They might just cycle the Sack Typhoon here. I would be totally okay with that. Yeah, they're gonna do that. Okay, yeah, so they're probably gonna Field of Ruin me, but that's okay. I mean, I have like a bunch of like colored sources here, so don't actually care about that. And they're gonna use that to get white mana. So I'm pretty like safe to just slam a Berkey here. Like normally I might want to wait until I could keep up the village rights, but like, you know, right now they can't counter it. And next turn, like maybe they will be able to counter it. They hit a 4th land, they can maybe like Archmage Charm or something. Or they can even, like they're probably also going to use their commit. I know they have commit in hand, right? To just put Berkey on top. Whereas if I play it right now, they're not going to just tap out in their main phase to put Berkey on top. That doesn't seem like very productive. So the main thing I want to set up though is that if they do try and kill Berkey, that I can sacrifice it to village rights. So tapping out for it is a little bit of a risk, but I also like need to get somewhere. So I'm going to play it here. Oh, right. Yeah. And I realized that actually they are going to use their Field of Ruin. So even if they have an answer to Berkey on their own turn, I'm going to have black mana up because they're going to Field of Ruin me to like get me an untapped land. So that's very nice of them. And yeah, that's perfect. So we're just going to get a swamp here. So we have village rights up and everything's going according to plan now. I guess maybe I should have gone into full control here to not give away that I have village rights, but it could also just be fatal push, I guess. But hold on, what happened here? They got an island, not a plains. They're definitely playing blue-white control. So this can only mean one thing, right? They are 100% sure to have Archmage Charm in hand. And I really wish I could like make them use it here, like make them like counter something so they don't get to draw 2 cards. But yeah, that's not happening. I just have to put Gigantha in hand. That could be relevant later as a threat, and they are just gonna draw 2. Okay, yeah. So now they're gonna hit their land drop, and we're gonna play some magic. Oh, I guess that's a land drop. They drew another island, so they actually don't have white mana yet. They might still have another Archmage Charm in hand. I think I'm okay with that. I just, I'm gonna play this Prosper here and see where that takes me. That's a pretty good draw. Even if it gets countered, I can get it back with Echoing Truth. Like probably next turn would be ideal. They can also just commit it, put it back on top. That's also okay. I mean, I'll redraw it again pretty soon. Maybe hit another untapped land so I can play Gigantha. One thing that's really important here is that I still get to leave up village rights though, in case they do deal with Berkey. Even like if they go to Fairy, put this 3rd from bottom, or 3rd from the top. I would like to like be able to just cash it in for some card draw here, because like that's the most difficult thing about this blue-white matchup is that cashing in your village rights is not that easy. If you don't draw Trapfinder, like it's really hard to do actually, because I guess the Traveler helps a lot too. But since like your Claim the Firstborns are not going to be able to like find a target, you kind of like sitting there stuck with village rights in hand. But it's okay. You can kind of play a long game, and it's okay. eventually you'll be able to get some value off of it, as long as you keep it open. Because they are going to have to answer something. Like this Burger's coming in for 3 damage a turn. They're still missing their land. I draw another village, right? So that's not a good draw here. That's basically a blank at this point. I might not even get to cast it all game. But I do actually have a plan here. I can just Echoing Return, get back my Prosper, and replay it here. Alright, so I Echoing Return, get back the Prosper here. They don't counter that. They are considering it, but obviously they shouldn't counter that. They should just counter the Prosper. Maybe they have another Archmage's Charm. They're probably just going to commit it, though. Put a second from top, and I think I'm totally fine with that. I will hopefully be able to draw it before they get to cast Memory. They are like 2 cards left, but also like the memory's not even that good here, right? Because like, you know, I'm the one with something in play. They're at 11 life. They really need to find an answer for this Bergie. And like maybe they do hit some sort of white sauce now, so they're at least able to have a play. At this point, you gotta imagine that their hand's chock full of like white cards that they're just waiting to be able to cast. So definitely like, you know, feeling blessed that they haven't hit the sauces here, and that I can like get away with like getting in so much damage with Bergie here, because I think that matters quite a bit. All right, they are finally gonna play Teferi here. And we do have an answer in the Bone Shard. That matters a lot, so we can kill the Teferi that way. Let's see if they're gonna kill Bergie or just plus the Teferi here. That might be a pretty tough call. If they plus it, I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit scared of Dovin's Veto, specifically. But it's probably okay. Like, we can start by casting Bone Shards, and then we're gonna attack afterwards. And if they counter it, we can attack Teferi with a Bergie, so it's like at least hamper it a little bit. So, okay, well I have this Fatal Push I drew for turn, so I can just discard that, but actually, no, wait. If you think about it, like the last time I played against the control player, like the Fatal Push like really won me game 1, and they are playing like probably 4 Shark Typhoon, so, and like also like they might have Hall of Storm Giants and so on. I actually like end up deciding that the Fatal Push probably is gonna be able to find a target here. And since I had 3 Village Rights, I discard one of them. If I only had 2 Village Rights, I probably would discard Push instead, but the 3rd Rights, it's just like, I don't really have to draw for it. I have like just all really good creatures. They're probably not, I'm probably not going to be able to like cash them all in. It's really hard to leave up all that mana, so. Bone Charge Teferi here. Get a mana off Bergie. Hopefully it doesn't get countered, but maybe, yeah, okay. They do have the Dovin's Veto, so Teferi gets to live another day here. I guess they get a nice clean 2 for 1, but we do get to attack it, and now, I mean, it's not great. I'm going to have to tap out for Gigantha. If they hit a second white sauce, they're going to be able to Supreme Verdict, but I can't just like leave with only a Bergie in play. It's just like not good enough. They're going to be able to like march it or something. Sorry. And we just don't have the pressure here. But like, at least with the Gigantha, it makes it much more likely that we can kill Teferi. And they hit a Hall of Storm Giant, so that's not a white sauce. I'm pretty happy about that. Definitely dodge that bullet, because they most likely have a Supreme Verdict in hand at this point. And now, like, since both my things can kill Teferi, I think we're pretty likely to be able to get Teferi down here. They can, like, maybe Shark Typhoon to Trump block, but we have the Fatal Push that we saved. So they're just gonna, like, march, exile the Bergie. We're not gonna be able to get that back, and they're gonna untap here. So they do have mana for, like, another Archmage's Charm, but we're gonna kill the Teferi. Okay, that's good. That problem is off the board. Let's just slam a Prosper here. I mean, even if they have an Archmage's Charm, I don't want them to be able to draw cards here and find something. Because, like, this Gigantha is also a real problem for them, right? Like, they're a really low life total. They can defend with Hall of Storm Giants, but I have this Fatal Push ready. So, maybe we're in a totally fine spot here. They have another Teferi. I guess that was not too unlikely. So I guess they can like suck Gigantha here, and yeah, I don't think I can wait for that 3 turns. I'm just gonna like cash in my card, get some card run out, and whew, okay, that's why we cash it in. So here we find Trapfinder, and you know, maybe I mean I guess I can't quite get there, but note like Teferi is at 1 loyalty right now. So I know whatever I get off Trapfinder will have haste, and getting this Ominous Traveler here, it's just perfect. I mean, even without Bergie, 0 mana Traveler against control is quite a problem. So I'm just gonna like start by running this one out. I'm gonna make sure that whatever I get off it, I play this turn, because this Traveler, it will die end of turn, so I need to be able to bounce it. But yeah, I get to clean out Fairy there. Play just a 2/2, and I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna still leave up the Village Rites. I don't really, if I just play the Trapfinder and they hit a white source and do like Divine Purge, I don't really like that to happen. It doesn't add that much to the board to just play this 1/1, and it's gonna cost me a treasure, right? Like maybe I don't need to spend that right now. So still gonna leave up Village Rites here. But pretty happy that I got another Teferi off the board. That was pretty lucky. And now our hand is looking kind of juiced. Like with another Trapfinder and like, you know, the Deadly Dispute or Village Rites to go with that, like sacrifice that. We have this Ominous Traveler that can like maybe get some random thing, and then we can sacrifice the Traveler. We don't really need that. And then we have the 0-mana Traveler, which is just an engine of itself, right? Plus, whenever we hit a Bergie, which we might hit off the Trapfinder, like we could just win, right? So we're presenting lethal like very much right here. Again, I'm like checking Twitter while my opponent's having their turn. So they play Nazit. I could Village Rite to respond, but I'm just gonna elect not to. Note that like the Socialite plus Traveler, they're gonna be able to attack the Nazit down, so that's totally fine here. I draw Forces here. I'm just gonna start off with that. Maybe that prompts them to Shock Typhoon, because they know they need the 1/1 Shark to keep Nazit alive. And then I will be able to like play the Traveler and Fatal Push, again, really important, kill the Shark token. Alright, so their hand here, they have a second Nazit, Memory Deluge, 2 Divine Purges. Well, if you can't like deal with the Divine Purges, they also like don't have double white right now. But I don't really want them to have the second Nazit here. Like Nazit and Memory Deluge do almost the same thing, but Nazit is going to like make it kind of awkward with my card draw spells, so I decided to take that, but maybe I should have just taken Memory Deluge. I think in my mind I'm thinking this is Inquisition, so I can't even take that, but obviously I can't take the Deluge here. There's also a chance here that I can play Trapfinder and just Village Rite it right away. If I hit Bergie, I just win the game on the spot here. But if I go like Fatal Push on the Shark and then like Traveler, and then I can like, so I kill the Nazit, right? If I like go to my combat and kill the Nazit, then I'll be able to draw 2 cards off my draw spell, but I'll be post-combat and I won't be able to kill my opponent this turn while they're tapped out. But I think that's okay, because usually with the combo, like, I know they have Divine Purge, but I might be able to, like, generate enough mana that I can get a few 4-cost things in play. And at that point, like, the Divine Purge is not even going to be good enough. So that's my game plan here. Like, I'm thinking that it's not even that bad. So we're going to kill the Shark here and play Traveler. I should play Traveler first, I guess, for info. If I hit Dominating Vampire, I'll probably just play that instead. I didn't even think about that, but here we are. We killed the Nazit here. And now I can play Trapfinder and sacrifice that. I think I should have realized something here, is that I should just use the Village Rites right now. Because if I don't draw a land off the Dispute, or even if I do, whatever, like if I don't draw a land off the Dispute, I am gonna have to play the Socialite right now. Because I don't want this Traveler to die end of turn, right? I want it in my hand. So I'm gonna have to spend my treasure tokens, and might as well just like, well, if you're gonna spend the treasure immediately of the Dispute, might as well just play Village Rites and use your land to pay that cost. So that's a small misstep there. Save the Deadly Dispute for rainy day. Do hit a Bergie, so yeah, as long as we play Socialite right now, we're safe to go next turn. I could, no, I can't even try and go for it right now, because I mean, the Traveler's in my hand right now, so, the Traveler is in play right now, so I can't even like use it to generate the mana to play the Socialite, right? I just need to play the Socialite here. We like have 4 power in play. They might hit a White Source and Divine Purge. If they do hit a White Source here, that's perfect for us. That means that we can go off here. So I'm feeling pretty excited. Like right now, you know, I think I'm typing in Discord like I'm a game up against Blue White Control, because like it does seem like we have it down here. If they do have a White Source, right? If it just like, you know, if we get to see the last card in hand, we know that the coast is clear. They have like no real way to interact with us, especially if they use some mana so they get Memory Deluge into something, and we have the Bergie combo here. So feeling quite content right now with this board. We also like do have some pressure, right? And they do hit a White Source, so hand it over. Just Divine Purge here and die. And like the opponent like don't know they're dead. They don't know that we hit a Berg. Wait. Oh. Right, I forgot that they had Memory in the graveyard. So memory, the like flashback of commit to memory, is a 6 mana. You know, both players shuffle their graveyards and hands into the decks and draw 7 cards. All right, so right now, I guess we're starting over here, and luckily I have a lot of time banks here because now I have to try and figure out the situation. I mean, they're tapped out, but like right now, my combo is in the deck. I have a reduced Traveler lurking somewhere that I need to redraw at some point. So that's kind of awkward. I also have a reduced Berkey for that matter. So it's kind of interesting. I'm like trying to figure out like, do I have lethal or anything? But I cannot. I'm gonna get lethal this turn. I guess if I hit like a dominating vampire, I could like attack them down to 2 and then pass and then have a lethal call against command. Oh, sorry. But aside, the best thing for me to do here is just get the Prosper going, leave up Deadly Dispute. I have, like, this is presenting lethal already. They kind of need to have a Supreme Verdict, and if they do, like, they're tapping really low. So, and I had Burger off that. Okay, Burger is super nice here, actually, because that's a 3/3 haste. Just, like, the haste part of Burger here is important. And that's, like, that is the reduced Burger from Trapfinder, right? It's perpetual. No matter where the card goes, even if it gets shuffled into the deck again, it still has those characteristics. So, this is a... So we end up just like hitting a reduced hasty Burger off my Prosper. And that's face up for the opponent. They have to deal with that. They do have like 8 cards in hand, so like they'll probably be able to like find some sort of answer to things, but they need to like Supreme Verdict and then also answer the Burger. And then still like we're gonna be able to draw cards with the Dispute when they do Supreme Verdict. And wow, I mean their hand must be terrible if they have to deadly memory deluge here, but just the random like creatures that we get off of or Ominous Travelers, these like 2/2s, they're just putting pressure on the opponent. And sure, I mean, that works, I guess. So right now, I guess they're in a lot of trouble, because like, how did they answer all of this? I mean, they can definitely like, they probably find a verdict by now. They didn't even find a verdict, they just like, march. So leaving us with a couple 2/2s, we can play Berkey here, and we have Call Against Command for burn. So even if they have 1 mana to like answer something, and yeah, the opponent realizes there's no hope, they're just dead here. So we clinch another game 1 against Blue-White Control. Definitely not the matchup where you plan to win game 1, because you do have all these claims and fatal pushes in your deck that aren't great. But we managed to like only draw 1 fatal push, and that was actually like 1 fatal push is fine in this matchup. I remember from round 1 that my opponent does have Hushbringer in the sideboard. I don't know how many, but I definitely should leave in some number of pushes to deal with that. So I decided to like cut the 3rd Village Rites to leave in a single push, just to deal with that. But otherwise, like, we just, you know, the sideboard mapping is pretty nice. Like, normally the way sideboarding is control, you board out 4 fatal push and 3 claim the firstborn, and then you have 7 cards in your sideboard that come in against control. Like, more Echoing Returns, Call Against Command, Croxa. Croxa is super nice to hit off the Trapfinder because it will gain haste. As you also, like, if you saw round 1, remember that my opponent, like, it was extremely good against Hushbringer, kind of funnily. In the sideboard, I also have more discard spells, like 2 Thoughtseize and the rest. And so, like, you know, I am making my deck much better against control postboard. And that, like, it is the postboard games that I plan to win. So I'm feeling pretty good here, like, having won game 1. Definitely puts me in a nice position. Also, like, for my opponent, like, they, you know, they met me in round 1. I don't know if that was round 1 for them, but, like, that's the 1 loss at this point, right? That's to me. And now they're pairing me into me again, and they lose game 1. So, I mean, they're probably not too happy about the situation, but that's how it is when there's like too few people in the queue. I mean, at some point it's gonna have to like pair people up against each other again, because otherwise you just like don't have opponents. If me and Munchie are the only ones in the queue for like 15 minutes, I mean, what's the game to do, right? It's just gonna have to pair us up. All right, we have a hand here. It's not ideal, but it has Trapfinder, and it also has a man land. I think that can be pretty important. At least, like, it requires them to have Field of Ruin to deal with it, or March or something. Okay, second Trapfinder is nice. I'm just gonna play out the first one here. They might have a March to deal with it, but since I have a second one, I'm okay with that. If I didn't draw this other one, I think it's too risky to play out this one. I think you're just gonna have to like play a tap land, then play this out on turn 2, planning to fatal push it if they try and kill it, or try and exile it. And looks like the opponent does have a March. Yeah, okay, so we are, I should probably also like not get too far away from my mic. So that's not ideal. We do hit a Traveler here, or if we do play a Traveler, get a Falconwrath Pitfighter. That's like one of the better things to get, because like just the 1 mana 2/1 is actually like, kind of annoying for the control deck to deal with. Just we saw before, like even 2 mana 2/2 was like effective. And maybe this is bait as well, like they might just like kill the Traveler immediately, but they don't. Okay. So I'm just gonna like attack for 1 here. If they want to use a Shark Typhoon to trade for it, I'm pretty happy with that. So I can play out the Pitfighter, and I decide that I'm also going to play out the Trapfinder here. Because if they have another way to exile, I can just Fatal Push it to trigger it. And I mean, even if they have an Archmage's Charm here, like you kind of want them to counter something, so that they don't. You kind of want them to counter something so that you don't just draw 2 cards, because that's also not ideal. And also have a Prosper in hand, right? I kind of want to clear the way for that one. So I'm going to run this Trapfinder here. Maybe they can counter it. But again, we're not really trying to like turbo into the combo. We might get there eventually, because we are like have the capability to draw a lot of cards. But they just chip-shotting them with random cards off the Traveler and so on. Like that goes a long way. Last game it was like Bergie doing a bunch of the damage here. Passing with 4 mana up here. I decide that I am going to attack with my Pitfighter here. If they have an Emperor, I think I'm pretty happy with that, because that means I get to resolve my Prosper. And Prosper like attacks the Emperor pretty well. Plus, I do have this Fatal Push, which does line up quite well against the Emperor. So, let's see what they're doing here. They are, okay, so they're not exiling it, they're just making a 2/2 and trading. That makes more sense. I'm not going to push that right now. I think the push just has more value. Right now, their Emperor, I mean, I'm going to like minus make a 2/2, and then I attack with my 1/4 Death Touch. Prosper does have Death Touch. Attacking into the Emperor, like that's not a good look for them. So it's kind of neat. We did also hit a Bergie, or rather a Horn of our Prosper trigger. So it's probably going to come down next turn. It's going to be quite important. And really, it's going to like, put the question to them. Do they have an answer to this, like this thing I have going on here? This might be a Teferi turn, but okay, they're just gonna Supreme Verdict away my Prosper. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That means that I can no longer get in there. And I'm trying to decide here. I mean, I can like load up my den, but then I really want to play this Bergie. I mean, this is the only turn I have to play it. It's gonna like leave the exile zone, or I guess it's gonna stay in exile, but so I'm just gonna play it as a Horn here. They're tapped out. It's gonna resolve, and maybe they don't have an answer to it. Like Horn by itself is just another card advantage in this matchup. So I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with this. And if they go, that's really what I'm hoping here. If they go to Fairy, okay. If they went to Fairy, minusing on the Horn, and then plussing the Emperor on the 3/3, I can like Fatal Push to kill that, queue up my Den of the Bugbear, and kill both Planeswalkers. So there's also kind of a bait here. But they're not gonna, I mean, they probably don't have to Fairy, but they're just like not gonna fall for it. Or maybe they can see the Den and like realize it's too risky. So attack for 3 here, play a tap land, and wow, I would really like to also be able to Thoughtseize here, but I'm just gonna, load up my Den. They might have another March, but okay, I can see here, like, as I'm loading it up, they don't have a March. But what I wanted to do was, like, I was, like, attack first with the Den, and then if they do have a March, then I would be able to instead just, like, Bone Charge the Emperor or something. Because I really want to, like, start to get cards out of my hand, because they have this memory here. And they're going to be empty-handed, right? So they're going to be really incentivized to have us both draw 7 cards. So, I am just going to, do that, then push now. They're not going to be able to counter it with 1 mana. And, yeah, okay. So, we have to spend our entire turn. But we did clear off the Emperor and, like, the entire board for my opponent. And now, yeah, they can memory. But if they do, I mean, we're left with a Goblin token, which is Sacrifice Fodder. We still have this Den. So, I'm actually, like, not looking too bad for the spot here. Maybe they'll try and milk the memory for 1 more turn here, but it's getting dicey for them. Because it's actually a pretty good turn. Right now, they're not under too much pressure, so it's a good turn for them to say, okay, we both just draw 7 cards. But, I mean, we also have 6 lands, just like them. We have, this 1/1 that can help. Heart of the Storm Giants definitely help. Definitely might matter, but yeah, okay. Well, we're drawing 7 cards here. So, the strategy did not work out well for them last game, but maybe it does this game. I was really hoping to hit discard spell. That's like one of the most important things to hit off it. And I do have like 8 discard spells in my deck. No, I think 9 actually. But didn't hit any of them. And now we're just gonna have to like see what sort of game plan can I cobble together here. always like after the memories is cast, like you know, it really takes a long time to like consider all your options because you just got like 8 new cards essentially plus your draw state, right? So I have to figure out what to do here. Am I playing like the Horn? Am I playing Bergie plus Omnus Traveler? What's going on here? I have the second tower that I would really like to discard. I need to make sure that I have some pressure on the board because I don't want Teferi to be too good for them. So yeah, I'm just gonna like play Bergie here, play Traveler, play something off the Traveler. Headless Rider is kind of ideal because if they use Supreme Verdict, like that's still something that's good to play. And oh, actually, I think I realize here that if I play the Headless Rider right now, I'm tapping out of my Village and Deadly Dispute, and they could easily have the Divine Purge here. And if they do have Divine Purge, like that's actually not a good look for me. So I think I realized that I'm actually better off just passing with the 2 card draw spells up. I left up the Friction Tower, so like if they sweep everything, like if they have a Verdict or something, I can like sacrifice the Goblin and like play both of my card draw spells. And that should set me up well for next turn, because they were gonna have to spend like most of their mana to do that. Maybe I can hit a discard or something. And obviously if they like, you know, try and counter one of my card draw spells, well that's perfect, then they're gonna be tapped out and maybe I can get something going. So I elected not to play the Headless Rider right here. Yeah, I think that's pretty heads up actually. So what are they doing? They do have a Supreme Verdict here, so yeah, let's just enact our game plan here. Make sure that Bergie is the last thing we sacrifice so that we do get mana of our things. Or at least like get mana of the Deadly Dispute in case I don't know, draw another Deadly Dispute or something. I guess it doesn't really matter that I have the mana. Alright, we get the Treasure too. There's a Prosper, that's kind of neat. It's a good way to gain card advantage. More lands. Okay, now it's a bit shaky. Takenuma is a pretty good land though, with Bergie and Prosper. Like, it's only a 2 mana card sometimes. They play a Hushbringer. That's okay, we have Kolaghan's Command. We can answer that. So, it's not the worst here. Ooh, wow. Okay, see, that's a draw now. That changes everything. Wow. So, I can just play the Croxa here. Do like we did like the first time I got paired against Munty. That means it's not gonna trigger, so it's gonna... You know, they're not going to discard a card, but it's also not going to get sacrificed. It's just going to be a 6/6 in play. But honestly, I think I'd really... Like, my graveyard is stacked right now. I have a lot of mana. I think I'd much rather be able to, like, work through the cards here. So I kind of want to kill the Hushbringer first. I also have this Kolaghan's Command that I kind of want to use, but... Or that I then need to use to kill the Hushbringer. But I decided that actually, like, instead of recurring something, because my graveyard is not that good, I have, like... You know, a Traveler, which is kind of whatever, and a second Bergie, I already have one in hand anyway. Like, it doesn't really matter. But with Croxa, like, the first red card you discard from them is not going to be that good, right? They're just going to discard a land. But the second or third card you discard from them, like, that's going to, you know, really matter. So, yeah, and I have exactly enough mana to do that, plus Croxa, plus bring it back. I think I have exactly 5 cards in my graveyard. So, even, like, you know, like 2 turns after the memory and like shuffle back my graveyard, it's just full enough again for Croxa. We can exile all these cards. I don't really care about losing any of them, so yeah, this is kind of perfect. Do they have the counter spell? They don't, because they had to like counter unless you pay 2, so that was kind of scary there. But they don't have that. Just discard another land, and okay, I guess they had a pretty land heavy hand, but we're doing some work here. Mowing it down. The dangerous thing here is that they have Hold the Storm Giant, right? I'm at 13 life, so I need to be aware of that. I don't have my push in hand anymore. But it is in my deck still. They played Teferi. Okay, well, I was thinking that maybe they minus on Croxa and we can use... Oh, jeez. Okay, so they're gonna march here, and we can't use our Den of the Bugbear to kill Teferi, or to attack Teferi, because Teferi is at 5, first of all, and they're gonna untap their Field of Ruin, so... That's actually not ideal here. They're, you know, they don't have many cards left. Oh, I guess we're gonna see exactly how much they have left. And I guess I thought these first. If they do anything about it, then we can use our Den to just kill the Teferi. And we get to see what the last card is. And then I guess I'm just building a board here. Like, Bergie, Headless Rider is probably the best thing. Like, maybe I want to do a Prosper as well. I don't actually... I think I realized and count my mana that I have enough here. If I play Bergie and they counter it, that's okay. I can then use my Den of the Bugbear. But I need to play the Bergie first, because then I actually have enough mana to go Thoughtseize, and the Headless Rider and the Prosper, which is kind of nuts. I have the mana to do all of these things, just because of the power of Bergie. And of course, I'm leaving myself a little bit vulnerable to a Supreme Verdict at that point, but that's gonna be totally fine. So they're gonna kill my Den right now, which is an odd timing because that just gives me an extra mana this turn. But I mean, I didn't really need that extra mana anyway. I guess I can play a Blood Crypt tapped now, which I couldn't before. So yeah, we just play Headless Rider. Gonna give us mana. And actually, I think I realized that it's better to just leave up the Friction Tower this way. I mean, maybe it matters that I can sacrifice my Headless Rider if they try and do anything to it. Maybe I draw. It can actually be pretty important, like if they do find a sweeper and I hit a Deadly Dispute off my Prosper, I can cast that. So, decided to do this. I'm kind of like tapped out here, but I also realized like doing this turn, wait, I should have another really cool play here to do. And if they try and exile my Prosper here, as they're gonna do, Devout Decree, exile Prosper, there's a really funny rules interaction here. So, right now my Takenuma costs 2 mana to use, because I have 2 legends in play. I have this Friction Tower up conveniently, like that's really, like their mistake for using Field of Ruin at that awkward time. That's what that's caused. That's what that's causing. Actually, if they also hadn't, I guess I was like discarding their Jawari Disruption. But that lets us leave out this Friction Tower. And that produces 2 mana. And that lets me get my Prosper in the graveyard. The issue is, if I sacrifice Prosper first, then this Takenuma no longer costs, it's gonna cost 3 mana to use. But I can just put the Takenuma on the stack. Pay 2, how would you like to pay for it? Well, I would like to use my tower to sacrifice my Prosper. And the game no longer cares that I don't have 2 legends in play anymore. So this is just kind of perfect. We just Prosper first, and we Takenuma in response to that, make sure the Prosper is in the graveyard when Takenuma resolves, and that's perfect. We milled over the Falconwrath, by the way, that got like shuffled into our deck with the memory. It was dead earlier. But yeah, now we have like 6 powers to threaten this Teferi. And luckily didn't manage to hit a sweeper here. There is still this stupid Hall of the Storm Giants. Not really sure how I'm gonna get rid of that. It's gonna have to be a question for another day. We lost our Den now, so we don't have that extra attacker. And yeah, honestly, I don't think I can like just run into that Hall of the Storm Giants. It's just not feasible here. So I guess all I can do here is I can play Prosper, and I can bring Gigantha into hand. I could also cast Deadly Dispute here to get something going, but... Oh, I don't even bring Gigantha in hand. Oh, now I see the play. Sorry. Yeah, the thing I missed here is that the Salt Forest Springs, that was exiled from Prosper last turn. When you play a card from exile, you get a treasure token. So I start by playing the Salt Forest Springs, get the treasure, and then I can sacrifice that to my Deadly Dispute. Oh, and I hit the Horn here. My opponent's tapped out, so I can just resolve the Horn. And we know what that means. Like, when you resolve Horn, and you have Bergie and Prosper, like, that's just, like, great here. So I can discard, like, start discarding my lands here. I have played land for turn already, but anything I hit off this, like, I can just cast that, and it's gonna generate me mana. Like, I have the whole combo in play right now. Ooh, and there's Goblin Trapfinder. Okay, maybe I can actually, like, find a Traveler off this one, and I'll be able to just, like, win the game right now. So, let's see what we hit here. I mean, I thought I was in trouble right now, but like, remembering that treasure token off the land, like, that's huge. And we hit a Traveler. Yes. Cue the music. Cue the music. Oh, I muted it. And they're so nice to animate the hold in response. That makes the combo go way faster, saves them a bunch of time, but also means that, like, if we hit a Dominating Vampire, we can just steal the Hall of the Storm Giants. And that's just gonna be a lethal attack right now. Oh, there's a push to answer it as well, in case I need to. We just need a single Dominating Vampire here, and we're good to go. And there we go. I was about to say it's a 2 XP, but then I remembered I probably don't have much time left here. And get to steal the Hall. Perfect. Attack you for 15 damage. And that's our win. That's the match. We defeated Mernty 2-0 once again. That feels good. That feels really, really good. Now we have 5-1. Sheesh. That's really scary too. Like, if I lose now, I'm gonna be on the leaderboard, kinda, but on like the tiebreaker thing. So like not all people at 5 wins make it. Maybe not even that many people who have 5 wins are gonna make it on the leaderboard. And the tiebreaker is like highest ladder finish. I haven't played ladder at all like this past few months. So I would have to like go super hard, like grind the ladder in November and try and like get as high as I possibly can, like top 10 at least. And like, you know, I'm already like halfway through November. Like that would be really tough to do. So 5-1 is like really close, right? Because the sixth win should guarantee me to get the invite here. So now it's like, you know, make a break here. And I'm feeling kind of nervous. I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I can't take too long of a break because I might just run out of opponents, right? Like, I know my teammates are also playing. At this point, actually, like, my teammates Marty and Stefan, who are also in the queue, like, they're both 6-1 at this point. And I think at this point, like, Marty's 6-1 and Stefan is playing. And we don't really, like, you know, ideally, we're not going to play against each other because you don't really want to knock someone out. So, I mean, we're just like, you know, we might be like the only people playing in the queue here, but we're just like letting me get in the queue, letting me wait and like see if I can like, you know, find just like one more opponent. Like, you know, Stefan is playing, he's winning his match, he's about to go to 6 wins here. I just also need to get to 6 wins so we can all participate in the arena championships. So it's quite nerve-wracking. Yeah, one more match left to go.